O's fans, today we take a deep dive into Colton Cowser and his future with the Baltimore Orioles. We also want to discuss who is on the bubble. Does Heston Kjerstad make the teams? Leotis Taveras make the teams? Jeremiah Jackson make the team? And what's the bullpen going to look like? Joe Rosano's Orioles report for Michael Sullivan and the handsome Matt Faulkner is next. Welcome to Joe Rosano's Orioles report for Michael Sullivan. We got the handsome Matt Faulkner. Matt Faulkner, what say you?
Well, Joe, I wanted to spend some time today talking about a guy that, to my knowledge, we've not spent a whole lot of time talking about, and that's Colton Cowser. We spent a ton of time talking about the rotation, the bullpen, the infield. But as far as the outfield goes, specifically center field, Colton Cowser, obviously, ton of injuries last year, only played 56 games. His rookie year, he was second in the Rookie of the Year vote, lost it by 5 votes to Luis Hill from the Yankees. My question to you, are you buying or selling a bounce-back season from Colton Cowser?
Okay, so politically incorrect comment coming. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
I always look at it this way, okay? I agreed with the guys from Moneyball, okay? Colton Cowser, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Colton Cowser. Just got married in January, and he married a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Won't say her name, but she is quite lovely, okay? And I have always believed when a player has a pretty girlfriend or pretty wife means he's got confidence. So Colton Cowser, I say keep him. I don't sell him. I think that, again, I think he is going to be top flight major leaguer. I really do. The only thing he needs is to cut down on the strikeouts. Okay. He's got a ton of power. I'm talking like light tower power. I don't think he hurts you in center field. We can't have Colton Cowser hitting 215. Okay. He's got to be better. He's got to be better. But I keep Colton Cowser. I keep him. Matt Faulkner, am I wrong, sir? Am I wrong?
We're gonna have a bit of a disagreement here. We are.
All right.
Of all of the young Oriole players, and you can call them the core. Colton Cowser, I have never really been high on for many of the reasons that you just mentioned. He strikes out way too much, and it seems like he cannot hit anything other than a fastball. I mean, you watch him hit, and what are teams throwing him? Changeup, sliders, breaking balls. And what's he do?
That
Swings and
seems to be the book on him. Yep, you are absolutely right there. Sorry.
Why throw him the fastball? Why throw him the fastball? Because that's the only pitch that he's really shown that he can consistently hit. And so if you've been kind of following spring training, which I know that you have been, you've started to see Dylan Beavers get some experience and some playing time out in center field, right? You've also seen Leotis Taveras, who was a guy they brought in on a 1-year deal to provide, depth in the outfield, particularly in center field. And so what I'm saying is I don't think Colton Cowser's leash this year is going to be very long. I think that if he struggles, particularly early on in the season where he's striking out, he's not getting on base, I 100% think that there's going to be other guys that are going to get at-bats and opportunities in center field. Because we forget, we also have a guy in the minor leagues who I think is on the cusp of being in Baltimore in the next year or two, and that's Enrique Bradfield. So if Colton Cowser doesn't have a good season this year, I could easily see him being replaced in center field. And I'm hoping that's not the case because we've seen the power, as you mentioned. But at the end of the day, he's got to go in there and he's got to do it consistently. And right now he hasn't shown it.
And the fact that he's got a pretty wife, that helps though, right? With the confidence thing? No, I'm just kidding.
I would hope so. Look, I'll take whatever works off the field that will help him play better on the field. I'm all for it. But you look at the numbers last year, like I said, 56 games. He missed a bunch of games in the middle of the season. If you remember the first series in Toronto, he slid headfirst into first base, fractured his thumb. He missed games all the way through June. Then he cracked a rib. He had a concussion. So it was an
Yes.
injury-riddled season, but he hit under 200. So it's
Mhm.
like, I don't, to me, the power is great, but if you're swinging and missing and you're striking out, you're not getting on base. I don't know that unless you're playing gold glove caliber defense in center field, I don't know that there's a spot for you as a starting outfielder on a team that's trying to make the playoffs and make a run towards a World Series.
I agree with this. This is the season that we got to find out. I agree. I really do. Now, honestly, and I'm just going to speak for myself here. I like Colton Cowser. I really do. Again, runner up to Rookie of the Year. He's made some very good defensive plays in the outfield. So, yeah, center field is not left field. Center field is not right field. Center field is center field. Adam Jones said earlier that he thinks that, as you may have seen in the interview, Adam Jones thinks that Colton Cowser is getting better and he's working with Adam Jones. That can't hurt. So at the end of the day, I think he's on that leash that you talked about. I think if he does not perform well by the All-Star break, let's say, I do think that they consider a different direction. I really do. But that different direction is you're trying to go to the playoffs, as you say. You're trying to get to the postseason. You're trying to win a World Series because that seems to be what the Orioles certainly are trying to do here. I'm not saying every team doesn't do that, but they with Pete Alonso and trading for Taylor Ward and getting Ryan Helsley, they're obviously all in. So Matt Faulkner, I do think that he's on, let's call it a mid-level leash, but I'm rooting for him because I like him. But just as a player, I like him. So we'll see. We'll see. So now your leash, what is it? June? When is it? Like, when do they say, okay, Colton, we can't have you out there anymore?
Well, I think it depends on a couple things. Number one, if Tyler O'Neill continues hitting like he's hitting in spring training, and I get it, it's spring training, it's not necessarily going to correlate to what he does in the regular season. But Tyler O'Neill looks slimmer. He looks like he hopefully will have a much better season than he did last year if he can stay healthy. And so if you're trying to keep his bat in the lineup, and if Dylan Beavers, if he's a guy that does what I think he will do, where he's going to have great at bats, he's going to play good defense, he's going to get on base, and you need both of those guys in the lineup at the same time, I think the easy switch would be, like I said, Dylan Beavers in center field. As far as a timeline on that, I mean, I'm not going to rush right away. I would say by the end of May, early June, if Cowser hasn't shown improvement at the plate with plate discipline and getting on base, then I 100% expect to see some other guys get opportunities in center field. I don't think it'll be quick in terms of it's not going to be, a few weeks if he struggles, but you give him a month or two. If it's looking like it did last year, I don't know why you wait.
Okay, so Joe Rosano keeps Matt has him up for sale.
I
And okay,
do.
but not necessarily. I'm not saying that you're selling him today, but you got the sticker on him and he's on the shelf, right? Is that kind of where we are?
100%. He's on
Okay.
the got him on clearance.
Now that Matt Faulkner, how smart you are. We call Michael Sullivan the brilliant Michael Sullivan. I think you are going to be the brilliant Matt Faulkner going forward
I would take it.
because this is a perfect segue right there into who makes this team. Okay. Because now I got to get my glasses on here. So people who are making the team for sure. Okay. Colton Cowser, he's making the team. And he's going to start in center field on opening day. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Tyler O'Neill, Taylor Ward, Dylan Beavers, no question. Okay. That's my opinion, no question. Which leaves Leody Taveras, Heston Kjerstad. By golly, here's the thing. Leody Taveras is 27 years old. For some reason, I thought he was much older. He's not that old. He's only 27. Hopefully a better defender. So, you need defense, especially late in the game. Especially we know how you feel about our friend Colton Cowser. Okay. So Leody Taveras makes the team, no question, under those circumstances. And he's not having a bad spring. Then you got Heston Kjerstad. Okay, they are talking about a left-handed power bat off the bench. And there we go, right there, off the bench. Okay. He shouldn't be coming off the bench anymore. What? He got a cup of coffee with the team back in 2023, I believe, right? Or was it 2024? But still,
2020,
we're talking about
2023.
so we're talking about 3, 4 years now. It's either see, he falls into that Kobe Mayo bucket. Like, if let's say he makes the team, Heston Kjerstad makes the team, play him where? Play him where? Play him where? Matt Faulkner, get me out of this. Play him where, sir?
I wish I had an answer. You watch him play in the outfield, it's the equivalent of watching the DH play the outfield, watching
All right.
Heston Kjerstad play the outfield. Every play
Yep.
looks difficult, right? Every play looks difficult. The way that I compare it is like you have some guys that make the hard plays look easy.
Yeah.
Heston Kjerstad is the flip side. He makes the easy plays look hard. Every
Look
play is an
hard.
adventure out there. And
Yeah.
he was a first round pick. He dealt with that, heart issue that kind of put him behind. He's 27, just like Tavares is. But no, I don't see a position for him on the roster right now where he's going to get consistent at bats. That's kind of been the Orioles' issue with a lot of their young guys is, they want to stash him on the bench and kind of protect him. But to me, that doesn't really help his development. He needs at bats. I mean, you look back, I think it was 2024 when he got hit in the head against the Yankees earlier kind of part of the season. He got hit in the head, got the concussion, and he never
Yeah.
really has come back from that, at least statistically. I know that they say that he's
No.
healthy, he's bounced back, he's ready, but you look at the numbers since that, and it's not pretty. And so if you're asking me on, March 1st, 2026, do I see a path for Kjerstad on the opening day roster, barring some kind of injury, which you pray to God doesn't happen? I don't see how they're able to fit him on that roster if they're really serious about winning games. I don't know that he makes them better right now as a bench player. I don't.
I agree. I think Leody Taveras makes the team for the reasons that we talked about. He's a very good defender. Yes, I think Heston Kjerstad. I think he starts the season in the minor leagues. There's no place to put him. That's all. Because Reed Trimble, same thing. Honeycutt, people brought up. There's no place to put these players, and yeah, I don't think he makes the team, man. I don't.
No, I
Could be
mean,
wrong, but
I,
I don't.
yeah, I think ideally in a perfect situation, he goes down to AAA. He has a really good start to the season, and as we get closer to the trade deadline, maybe he's a guy that other teams will want. You might be able to help your major league roster. For me in Baltimore, I don't see a way that he is going to be an
No,
everyday player
I don't either.
based on who they have coming back and the positions that they need. He doesn't really feel a need. And so to me, barring, like I said, barring an injury, I don't see how he makes the opening day roster. I don't. I know he's made some changes. You watch his swing; he's cut down on the leg kick and made some
Yeah,
adjustments in
I
the
saw that
offseason.
too.
So he worked with Jackson Holiday and Matt Holiday, which hey, you can't go wrong learning from Matt Holiday. But at the end of the day, I don't see it happening.
I don't either. So here we go. Now we got the final bench spots here. So Matt Faulkner, who gets the final bench spot? And let me give you your choices here. You got Jeremiah Jackson, Jairo Estrada, Luis Vasquez, Weston Wilson. Okay, that is assuming that Kobe Mayo is a starting third baseman. So Jeremiah Jackson, who? Who makes the
I
team?
actually am going to say yes to Jeremiah Jackson. He's had a really good start to spring training. As we mentioned, he's a utility guy, can play a bunch of different positions. I think that he 100% is
Yes.
on this roster. I think Blaze Alexander obviously is at least for the time being, going to be your starting second baseman. So that's a no-brainer. The name that you didn't mention that I think is another option, and this is kind of depending on the Orioles and how comfortable they are with Samuel Basallo. I think there is a distinct possibility that at least to start the season, the Orioles go with a third catcher. And I say that because this one, you look at Samuel Basallo and his experience behind the plate. He's had less starts behind the plate than Adley Rutschman did when Adley Rutschman was brought up, to the major league level. And so
Worst.
there's a lot of things that defensively Basallo leaves to be desired. And so in a situation where Basallo is catching and Rushman is DHing, which is going to happen. They've mentioned they want to keep Rushman fresh. They don't want to run him down in the ground, especially early on in the season, catching, all the time. So Basallo naturally slides into that catching role and Rushman becomes your DH. But late in games, I honestly don't know that Basallo is a guy that is as sure behind the plate as other catchers at the big league level. And so, like, who that guy could be, Sam Huff is the name that I've seen. He's a third option behind the plate. He's not much of a hitting catcher, but he's a defensive guy, which I think,
Right.
like I said, I think there is a possibility that he makes the roster at least to break camp early on in the season. And then, whatever happens after that, we'll see. But I would not be shocked to see a third catcher at least be kept for the beginning of the season.
And I would like the folks to put that in the comments. That is a good question. You got Rutschman catching, and you got Basallo DHing. What if, there is an injury, God forbid, right? So you're going to lose your DH right there. So, yeah, I mean, a third catcher, not something that's been, talked about a lot, but I'll tell you, Matt Faulkner, I see what you're saying. I kind of agree with that because, yeah, I mean, Basallo is not a fantastic defensive catcher, at least at this point. And yeah, what happens when, when he DHs and Rutschman is behind the plate or vice versa? Then what? There's an injury or you need a pinch runner or something along that line, and then you're kind of really in it then. And the
Yeah, I
Orioles, I
mean,
think, ran into that problem last season.
yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, the reason that Basallo got his contract extension and is going to be on the big league club is not because of his defense. It's because of his
No.
his bat and how he swings it at the plate.
Yes.
And so,
Yes, it is.
like I said, when you're in a game at the end, it's the ninth inning. You don't want to be worried about pass balls. You don't want to be worried about a catcher that maybe is inexperienced behind the plate. And like I said, I realize keeping a third catcher isn't a sexy pick by any means. Sam Huff is probably a name that a lot of fans may not even really be familiar with. But again, I'm
Right.
just saying that I think distinctly it's an option at least early on in the season. It's a way to keep some guys fresh. Now, whether that happens, we don't know. But I think that there is a possibility that a third catcher is going to be on the roster to break camp.
That's the long shot dark horse. Now we move to the bullpen. So Helsley, yes. Kittredge, yes. Tyler Wells, Keegan Aiken. And we're definitely it's going to be Yanier Cano. And some critics say Dietrich Enns has an inside track to make the Orioles again as a bullpen arm. So that leaves, okay, Wolfram or Povich or, obviously Suarez, Garcia, Kowar, McDermott, Espada, Nunez, or Foster. A lot of folks out there like Foster. Again, there seems to be a couple of spots opened, and who gets those, would you say?
Well, I mean, obviously, a lot's going to change in the next 3 weeks before the spring training is over. My concern with the bullpen is the left-handed pitching situation. Because if you look at Keegan Aiken, he's what they call a reverse split guy, meaning that he gets right-handers out at a better clip than he does left-handed hitters. It's the same thing with Dietrich Enns. It's the same thing with Grant Wolfram. All three are left-handed pitchers, but they get right-handed hitters out better than they do left-handed hitters. And so Povich is the guy that I've talked about on here. Like, do I think that he has the potential to be a starting pitcher in the major leagues? Yes, 100%. I don't know that he's better suited to stay up with the club to go to like a bullpen role. Or what I think probably will happen is he's going to go back to AAA. They're going to continue working him in as a starter. So I don't think Povich. I mean, if you're asking me what I would personally do, I would try that role for Povich, but I don't necessarily see the Orioles doing that. I think they're going to keep him ramped up as a starting pitcher for depth. So I think he's out of the picture as far as the bullpen goes. The rest of those names, each of them kind of brings some different things to the table, right? Jackson Kohar was a guy that they traded for from Seattle, a right-handed pitcher, throws upper 90s, can strike guys out, but walks guys. Rico Garcia in his time last year was pretty sturdy, pretty solid as a late inning guy. So we'll see how that works out. We mentioned Tyler Wells. I think Tyler Wells will be a good addition to the bullpen. It's a way to keep his innings kind of restricted a little bit. You can kind of monitor how many innings he's throwing. But yeah, that's a really good question. I'm going to be very interested to see kind of who they decide as far as those last one or two spots. Right now, I think it's just going to be whoever
Does Cade
performs.
Povich break camp with the Orioles, or does he start the season in AAA? Cade
I think he's in
Povich.
AAA. AAA. Yeah. I think he's in AAA
Okay.
along with guys like, Chase McDermott is another name, a young pitcher, Brandon Young. I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys. Trey Gibson is a young starter that they like. So I think the AAA
Yeah,
roster with the
so do I.
rotation is going to be solid. But yeah, I see them continuing to stretch Povich as a starter, but he's going to do it in AAA.
Well, we will see. And speaking of we will see, we're live on March 26th, opening day. We got Michael Sullivan going to be our on-field correspondent. He'll be at the game. People are going to be calling in, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to send an invite out there, and we have this little contraption here that lets people join us and tell us what they really think about us. We're going to be starting 2:05 p.m. on March 26th live, and then we'll be right back post game about 6:15, 6:30 p.m. We're gonna do the highlights. We're gonna discuss what happened in the game. You can call in, and it's just gonna be so much fun. For Michael Sullivan and the handsome Matt Faulkner, I'm Joe Rosano. I always say, God bless you, O's fans. Please don't forget to adopt a pet, and we will see you next time.